Howdy there, and welcome to It's Fine Gaming. This is Mike, and today we're in Homebrewed vehicle Sandbox, it's in early access. I've had it for a little bit. They've been making some improvements, and I've been putting some time and energy into learning some helicopters and things like that. I've looked for some tutorials. There's some out there, and not too many, I guess, so I thought I'd put one together here of everything that I've learned through my testing and such. So I guess this is Helicopters 101. This is mine that I built. It's not too beautiful, but it is mine. I had to do a lot of testing with it as far as balancing and things like that. You can see the ballast back here. I had to keep relocating that and changing weights and such like that. So it's not terribly beautiful, but it does work. We can go in here and turn it on. I had to do a lot of different things with the controls. The default chopper that they give you in your inventory, I guess it just didn't make sense exactly how all the controls worked for me, not to mention some of them needed to be tweaked and things like that. Like I guess it always just spun to the right if I remember. Oh, and actually, you know what? This looks a little unsmooth because I forgot to turn on my gyroscope, which is that spinning thing right there below the my prop. And as you can see, it's already smoothed out a lot of that kind of roughness, which is exactly what it's supposed to do, and that's another thing I had to learn about. So I guess without further ado, I can go into the shop and we can build a brand new one. Alright, so here we are. I guess I'm going to try to speed through a lot of this because you guys don't need to just see me kind of building, but or waiting and do block by block. So hopefully this will go a little faster. All right, so I do want this to be a two-seater, and I'm not going to be covering too much of the basics. I'm going to assume that you guys have already played around with the vehicles or four-wheeled vehicles rather, and did the actual tutorial in the game. So I'm going to skip some of that. But if you do ever have questions, you can hit the F11, I believe. Yeah, and that brings up a nice little wiki set for you to answer some of your questions. Alright, now the first decision I want to make is it is going to be a two-seater, and I think I want to have them side by side. I don't want to have them in line like on a, I guess what, an Apache or a Hind or anything like that. Is that good? Is that too close or not too far away? No, that's fine. Because I want to have good fields of view for both driver and passenger. And we're going to go ahead and make the left side right here, we're going to make that our driver side. Now the first chopper I made was had two blades on the rotor. It was this guy right here. And I think I'm going to go ahead and use the Pro. I think it may have some more lifting power. I know it's a lot larger. Oh man, that's a heck of a lot larger. Where's the connectors at? Just like that. Aha! I had it. I had it. Alright. Now, is that too high? Yeah, now I'm starting to feel like it's looking goofy. Yeah, it looks goofy to me. I'm going to back that up just a bit. Put that one there. Right there. Alright, that looks better. Alright, so now let's look into the tail rotor. Is that what it's called? Okay. Alright, so I used the standard. Wait, they're helicopter tail. Oh, they're both called the same thing. Well, I know because I've looked at both of them. This one's a little bit smaller, so I'm going to go ahead and use the larger size here because we're using the larger rotor. Yeah, it's starting to look like a helicopter. Check the center of gravity. Come on, open up. There we go. And we want the center of gravity to be right underneath the rotor here, because I mean, this game does play a lot of I guess real life physics into this, meaning moment arms and things like that. If I had my center of gravity focused here on my chairs, right in the center. When this tries to give lift and raise, it's going to create a moment arm, and it's just going to teeter forward around the center of gravity. So center of gravity needs to be straight in line right down the middle, because this is the only thing that's pulling upwards. And if it's off to the side in any way, it's going to go to the other side. So not too bad, actually. So that means our fuel tanks and all of our other equipment can be concentrated right down here, and I won't have to have ballast coming out the back like I had on my lightweight chopper. Yeah, not too bad at all. Now I'm starting to think about aesthetics a little bit more. How do I want to position, or where do I want to put my fuel tanks? How many do I even want? You know what, let's just start with one. Just keep it simple. Let's just start with one, and we're going to position this. You can go ahead and bake this, and items can be glitched into each other like this, and the items will operate perfectly fine. I, on the other hand, that kind of bothers me a little bit. I don't know why. It's just because I'm a strange guy, so I'm going to lower that down. A little bit of clipping I can deal with, but if I can make it look aesthetically a little bit nicer, I'm going to go ahead and try to do that. You know what? I got an idea. Why do we have to have it wide? And we can use the narrow end. No clip. Oh, it takes up that space. Oh, very nice, very nice. I like that. I'm very satisfied with that, actually. I guess the only other thing that I have to have, well, is nice to have, is a gyroscope. As you could see from when I started the video, it kind of, it pretty much just smoothed everything out and made everything, the controls, a little less traumatic, I guess. We'll go ahead and place this right there. Now, for my experiments, you can have the gyroscope in the front, in the back, off to the side, anywhere you want, and it affects the whole vehicle. It doesn't necessarily have to be right underneath the rotor or whatever you're trying to affect. I don't even, actually, I didn't even try. I've never done it on the side like this. I've just always had it in this orientation, but I don't think that would matter either. Maybe I'm wrong though. All right, now this does require, this doesn't run on fuel, this actually runs on batteries. And I've done some testing with the 12 volt and then the pack here, the 12 volt pack. And they say if you have a big pack or a lot of different batteries, it makes this far more powerful and really dampens all your movements. Whereas if you just had one or two of these batteries, it doesn't dampen your movement as much. I haven't tested it too much. I've done a few different times, and it doesn't really seem to affect it hugely like I expected. But again, I may be completely wrong on that. All right, now I think we have all the parts necessary for flight. And actually, I might be able to bring my seats in, but let's go ahead and just check to see where our center of gravity is. All right, it is a little tail heavy, and that's enough to cause a nuisance. So we need to somehow bring weight forward. We could do that by adding a ballast. We could move our tank forward, although I'm pretty pleased with the tank. And I thought about bringing the seat back, but I don't want to do that because that's just going to make the center of gravity move further back. So what we could do is start building a cockpit, fuselage, not real sure, and maybe some landing apparatus. I wouldn't call it landing gear, but you know, what the hell do I know? Alright, so we need to move some weight forward. that looks good. I like that. Now let's check the center of gravity real quick, see if I've changed it much. Oh, darn it, now it's in the front. Okay, alright. So should I stop? Because it's kind of just like not really closed at all. I can't stop yet. I started, I'm going to have to keep going. Now I want, what do I want? No, I don't want a U. I want a curve 9, or straight 9. A line 9, that's what I want. Some of those. Connect. How do I want to tie back into the body? Alright, should... Okay, now this I might make an exception and try to just clip right into the motor here and give the illusion that it's tying in when it's really not doing anything. Yes, actually that looks pretty... I'm pretty satisfied with that. Just for a quick time, get it over with build. Yeah, I can live with that. That's fine. Alright, and I do want to have some form of landing gear, which I may just slap together a... oh, not as bad as I thought. Not as bad as I thought. We're just ever so slightly there. So how can we remedy this? We can collapse the cockpit in just a bit. Just a bit, which I would rather do than adding more things than we don't need. Oh, too far. It's exactly what I was expecting. Alright. That's enough. That's enough to throw it out of whack. What can we do? What can we do? We can... We can move this forward and put another fuel tank here, maybe. That might even us out a little bit. I like that. Now I'll live with that clipping too. Alright, so let's add another tank. It's not going to kill me. It's not too bad. Alright, let's bake this and take a look. Oh, it didn't move me up enough. There's a possibility of bringing in my tail, but then I'm going to be starting to look a little goofy, like a little midget chopper. I want it to be a nice, good size, 2-person. Nope, wrong one. There we go. Ah, getting so close. Oh, I wish I wouldn't have moved the cockpit back so far. No, this is just a tutorial. We're just going to do what we have to be done. Let's add few more ballasts here. Alright, that is pretty darn close. I would mess with it more, but let's just go ahead and get on with this tutorial. Alright, so we have a chopper ready to go here, but we need to not program it, but yeah, I guess for lack of better terms, program it. Tune it, whatever they call it in this window. Tuning area, yeah. Okay, so we have decided, by we I mean I, have decided the left side will be the driver's side. So let's start with fuel. Let's just get all the fuel. So if you double click on the tanks, it'll grab both of them. We're going to choose the consumer to be our main rotor here. It's the only choice. And then I do want to show fuel just for one, just because I'm curious. I want to put that on the driver's side. Alright. From there, we can go to a rotor. Invert spin we don't care about right now. Stabilizing effect, we'll let that go. That's all fine. That's like the next stage of tuning. Tail rotor, we do want to select that. Input controller is going to be our chair, our driver's seat. Okay, activation, input. Okay, so that's the X button to start it. because we need to program the roll, the pitch, and we're going to use 2 buttons for the throttle, or the to gain and to lose altitude for the RPMs. And I do want to show the RPMs on this seat. Alright, so the roll. Okay, that's going to be when the blades are going to pit or roll from one side to the other side. And now I'm programming using a game controller, and I want that to be my left stick. And I've already done some key binding, and I know which one that is. For every person, it's going to be a little bit different. If you want to use the roll as the AD in the pitch, which is going to be tilting forward and back, and you want that to be WS, just go ahead and go to your key binds, find out where all that's taken care of. That's going to be your axis 1 and axis horizontal, axis vertical 1 set, where I've already programmed my controller to somewhere. Basically 3 and 4 of what I've already done. So my roll, I want to be my horizontal for 3, and my pitch will be my vertical for 3 as well. Okay, now my throttle up I have programmed to my second set, which is the buttons on my controller. And I think standard throttle up and throttle down is P and M, which, because I'm using a controller, is not very convenient, so I map that to my controller. Okay, throttle up, throttle down. The rotor should be set. Alright, let's take a look at our tail. Now, the compensation here starts at 47. And I find, especially on the default chopper, it has 47 on it, and it just keeps trying to spin the whole chopper to the, I guess, counterclockwise. So anyways, I'm going to cut this down. I think on my last chopper it was 15, so I'm going to try 15 and see if that's the offset that I need. Because basically what it's saying is, no matter when there's no input coming in, it's always pushing 15%, I guess, of the compensation force here, or control force. Now control force, I don't know, on my lightweight I put it down to 100. This one is heavier, so I'm going to leave it at 200 and see what happens with that. Input controller, we want our left seat. Tail blade control I have as axis horizontal 4, and that's going to be the bumpers on my controller. Alright, the rotor is set. Okay, so we have fuel, both rotors. Oh, okay. The gyroscope here needs the batteries, so we double click on that. I'm going to consume, and I'm going to select one battery. And I do kind of want to see what its charge is, so I'm going to have that linked to my seat so I can see it. And the input controller is going to be the seat. And the activation is going to be X as well. So immediately when I turn on the rotor system, it will turn on the gyroscope, so it'll automatically just be in a good setup. You know what? No, actually I want that to be separate. I'm going to change that to Fire 1, which is my right control. Why it's right control, I'm not exactly sure, but that is. So that way I can test with it on and off to see how the controls are. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at our seat. I am going to want to see, out of curiosity, my speed, and I'll show that on actually both chairs when I have a passenger. So I'm going to hit shift so I can select both of those, and I also want my altitude to be visible on both of those seats as well. Camera, I want to be able to look around. Alright, okay, so let's go ahead and edit our HUD, or screen. Okay, let's get things sorted out here. Okay, I'm going to have fuel can be bottom right. Power to my batteries can be bottom right as well. Those make sense together. My speed, I want it to be centered. And I'll have my altitude right underneath it. In my RPMs, I'll put bottom left, that's fine. Okay, let's bake that. Alright, I think we're ready to test. Alright, so here we are. I have not done any testing yet. I've just spawned back into the world. And that's my lightweight. It's the wrong chopper. Light two-man plane. No, that's my plane. Oh, I didn't take a picture. We'll have to do that next time. Oh yeah, a little bit bigger. A little bit bigger. Let's get in the right seat here. My HUD looks good. Let's go ahead and power on. You can see that my gyroscope is not on, but I can turn it on. Okay, let's go ahead and just see what happens here. I'm going to hit V so I can get a different look out here, see the balance. Alright. Okay, see, we're starting to pull back. I'm not inputting any controls yet. But see, we're pulling back. That little bit of off balance is enough to do that right there. But oh, something's definitely wrong. Yep, something's definitely wrong. Whoa! Something is definitely wrong. I think my forward and reverse, or my pitch, is inverted. I'm pulling back on the stick right now to go forward, and I don't want that. When I push the stick forward, I want to tilt forward, not back. Okay, so we need to change that. Just bail out here, go back for a fast edit. Okay, so first thing first, I want to take a picture. Alright, to test while in the shop, all you gotta do is grab your controlling seat, hit control, and see this little gears around here? That means now you can control it. And I'm gonna lock the screen so I don't move it around. Okay, this is backwards, so I want to go push the stick forward. Okay, that's inverted. Why did that happen? Because it didn't change it from the last chopper. Okay, let's investigate my key bindings. Turn that off. Horizontal 3. Oh, that's horizontal. I need vertical. I'm a dunce. Okay, that's inverted. I'm not sure why that's inverted. Alright. Relock the screen. Need to get control of the seat again. Alright. Alright, that's what I need. Okay, so that one is solved. We need to push the center of gravity ever so slightly forward. Ever so slightly forward. So what I think I'm going to do, because we have plenty of lift. I'm not worried about that right now, so I can add some more weight. I want to add some tires. No. If anything, if I cannot be directly in line, I would rather be tilting forward a little bit. And I already look goofy enough as it is with all this ballast, but I guess we're just going to have to add another one. Just because I want to get through this tutorial. Alright, that is pretty darn close. We're going to go with that. Alright, the tires are going to bother me. I want to make that a left wheel. Alright, and I don't want these to steer at all. Select them all, and I want to link the input to the chair. And that way, when I can use the down arrow on the keypad, or on my keyboard, and it will brake, so I'm not scooting down a hill. But let's go ahead, bake that, and give it another shot. Oh, yeah, that's right, I was up here when I left. Ouch. Alright. Throw it out here again. Alright, hopefully we should be good for balance. Oh, that is much better. Much better. Alright. My rotor is not overpowering. My tail rotor, that is. Gives me some control, but it's not whipping me around, and that's what I want. Okay, I got my forwards. back. Woohoo, woohoo, pretty extreme. Got my roll, which is pretty aggressive. That is pretty aggressive. Okay, let's go ahead and see what it's like inside. Alright. Okay, I'm at max RPMs, and I'm gaining altitude, which is good, so that means I'm not overweight. Alright, my pitch is definitely, I'm sorry, my roll is definitely backwards, so I need to correct that. And we have to stop that complete rollover. Let's turn on the gyroscope and see what that does. Oh, that is much better. Yeah, that's playable now. Okay. The pitch as well. Nope, too far. I'm looking for axis 3 right here. So my pitch is my horizontal, and I'm going to invert that. That should solve that problem, which is what I wanted. Alright, and what was the other thing? Oh, it was too extreme going in my roll, not my pitch. God, I'm not a pilot. I get all the jargon all messed up. Okay, so we're going to go to the rotor, and the roll was too extreme. Max roll. Alright. On my lightweight, I turned it down to 5 degrees. Or I assume that's degrees. So we're going to save that. And we're going to go right back out and test this. Alright, I have no idea where we're at. It's wherever we landed last. And I'm running backwards, and I just threw the chopper on the side. Oh, see, that's why sometimes having wheels is not the best. Oh. Oh, fine, fine, fine. I'll go all the way down to the road. All the way down to a reasonably level location to spawn a helicopter. Thank you. Alright. Start up the system. Alright, here we go. Okay, my forward's good. My back's good. Pitch. Alright, we're not doing loopy-loops. Alright, that is good. Let's turn it up. Still not extreme to each roll. Good, good. Alright, and I don't even have the gyroscope on yet. Let's turn that on, see what that does. Oh, that makes me real sluggish. I don't even like that. I'm going to turn that off. Yeah, I prefer... okay. Oh, my tail. My tail, whoa, is very powerful. Okay, I want to turn down my tail. Alright, so my tail was a little too powerful now. Tail, I'm going to back this down to 100. Alright, bake it. Let's take a new picture. And let's go right back out there and test it. Alright, start it up. Ah, there we go. Yeah, not an extreme tail action like it was before. Yeah, that's what I want. Right like that. Alright. Let's turn on the gyroscope again just to test to see what that's like. Oh, that's so sluggish. It's nice for nice sceneric? No, not scenic. Oh my god. Scenic. It's just scenic. Yeah, duh. If you want a nice scenic view and control, that's nice. But if you want to be a little bit more sporty and do, I guess, stunts, you need to turn off the gyroscope. Alrighty then, let's go ahead and do a quick review. This is our chopper that we just made, a 2-man. Let's get in here and start the systems. Hit the V key so we can get a better look outside here. Let's see, just to review, we talked about center of gravity and how important that is, and you want that to be right underneath your main rotor. As we can see when we take off here, it's reasonably balanced. We have forward and back, what is that, pitch. We got the left and right roll, and we have our tail rotor that's going to help us turn left and right. We also have our gyroscope that I just turned on, which will help dampen all the movement if you wanted to take it slow and have a nice scenic flight. I guess that's pretty much it. This is Mike from It's Fine Gaming. Thanks for watching and hope to see you again.